Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are back in the Colombo. But we're not, actually. We're watching somebody in the Colombo because we're bringing back community replays. That's right. So hopefully you guys are ready. This one's going to be an absolute ridiculous game in the Colombo. Now, unfortunately, it got sent to us with the first kill off the board, which was a Sejong for a full health dev strike, as you can see in the top right hand corner, 32,000 damage on the first shot. That's always going to be a good time, right? But I hope you guys are ready. We're going to go over this and we're going to have a good time, but let's get straight into it. Alrighty, so one of the things that I need to bring up right away, because it's the beginning of the video, is if you guys enjoy these types of videos, punch that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. At least half of you guys aren't subscribed to the channel. What are you waiting for? We bring up new content all the time for you guys, so please, if you guys enjoy, punch that subscribe button, join the Spartan Army/Navy, and have a good time. And since it always gets asked in the comment section on these community replay videos, if you would like to submit, oh my god, good lord, man. I'm telling you, Colombo's nasty. If you haven't figured that out yet, like, Colombo is legitimately nasty. But, anyway, if you guys would like to submit your own community replays, first of all, it's got to be an amazing replay, right? It's got to be. Has to be. But you can send either a link to the YouTube video, if you guys put it up on YouTube, or the actual video in a file share from, like, Google Drive or OneDrive or something like that, to my Gmail account at SpartanElite43@gmail.com. Doesn't get any easier than that. It's all lowercase, no spaces, just SpartanElite43@gmail.com. And I will review them. May not get used anytime soon. I don't do these a lot, but I always cherry pick the very best replays for these, so that every single time we do a community replay video, it's going to be absolutely banger. So thank you to Kali here. I'm going to call him Kali because I have no idea what the rest of it is supposed to be. Kali? I apologize. I tried. But we'll call him Kali for the rest of the match. But thank you so much for sending this in. And we're going to have a good time. Now, right, look at the damage, man. The thing that people don't understand about Colombo is, yes, it only has 15-inch guns, right? Most people are probably thinking, well, 15-inch guns? What is the big deal about that? Well, you don't overmatch anything at legendary tier with 15-inch guns. Really? I mean, you got the Mino, the Brisbane, technically. But that's about it. But what you lack in ability to overmatch, you make up for in ridiculous pen angles that this thing has. And, not just that, volume of fire. 16 rounds going down range. 16 Battleship caliber rounds going down range. Alright? She gonna have a lot of punching power. You couple that with the fact that it's got a very nasty suite of secondaries, if you get to use them. I don't recommend building for secondaries. Hold. Don't get mad at me. Okay? Hold. I recommend building for the guns. The secondaries will always be there. Oh my, look at the damage! Like, this is what I'm talking about. You don't get this out of anything else. Like, this thing, if you build for the main gun's accuracy, is absolutely insane. Okay? It just absolutely dominates everything that decides to over-angle. And then, God forbid, somebody decides to angle against you and you just shoot superstructure for 20k. Like, that is what you're getting out of these things. But you only get that if you build for the accuracy. If you build for secondaries, you lose a lot of that accuracy and you start to get a lot less impressive numbers when it comes to the main gun performance. Which I still say the main guns on the ship are the selling point, right? Secondaries are great, but there's a reason they're called secondaries, folks. Just plain and simple. I love brawling as much as anybody. But especially at legendary tier, trying to force your way in close enough to brawl is a recipe for disaster, especially with all the destroyers you end up with in these games, usually. But with all of that being said, I mean, you get enough broadsides to look at and it's devastation on wheels. Pardon, the Colombo doesn't have any wheels. Shh. Okay, you don't know that. It could be hiding the wheels underneath. Maybe this is an amphibious ship. It never existed, so it could be. Who are you to tell me that this thing can't go on land? I'm sure Hivehound has tested that. If you get the joke, you get the joke. Hive, still love you. Anyway, dropping the shot over the mountain. I was really, I thought that was going to be juicy, but apparently Montana got out of there just enough to avoid getting absolutely crushed, because that had bad implications on it. Now, the one thing I will say here is that he's using the smoke to disappear while stationary. This is an interesting way to use smokes. Not saying it's right or wrong, but it's not how I would normally use the smoke. I like to use the smoke for two purposes. One, ambush. Okay, ambush is hilarious. It's when you catch people off guard because they don't realize that you're there. Or they see your smoke, they can't see you, but they fire their guns or something, they get lit up, and suddenly they get 16 rounds of armor piercing through the broadside because you were hiding. But two is when you need to make a specific turn. Now, I will say this. Kali has really not done a whole lot in terms of positioning in this one. Started to move into the cap, got pushed out of the cap because getting focused. Multiple sides of the map, but the enemy's running away. Okay, so you can see Kali's already stopping from the reversing. We don't need to reverse any further. Got a shot dropping through the superstructure on the Schroeder again. I mean, you're sending so many rounds down range that even though it doesn't look like much of a salvo, you still end up with, you know, multiple penetrations where you need them, right? That's why I like ships like the Kansas. That's why I like ships like, you know, the Colombo here. You just volume of fire. Being able to have so many shells downrange that even RNG struggles to screw you over. Look, not that impressive of a salvo. Look, you get what, 7 rounds. 7 rounds on target out of 16. That's less than half, right? But it was still like 10,000 damage. So, again, it doesn't look that impressive, but because you're shooting so many rounds down range, it is still pretty solid. Uh-oh, this is gonna hurt. Oh, it's HE. Rip the Kerfers. Good lord, my guy. Why are you firing HE out of a Kerfer? The Kerfer is another one. It's got great guns if built for it. But a lot of people tend to not. And most people don't survive long enough. But here it looks like we have a Mino shooting over top of an island with all that nasty armor piercing, and that's not ideal. Minos don't care unless they get spotted. Like, the Mino armor piercing is just disgusting. For how small it is, it punches way above its weight. Like, it will shred you very quickly if given an opportunity. But it's also one of those ships that you know is basically a guaranteed dev strike if you see it. But breaking contact, dropping back, making sure we're not getting spotted again so that we can get this base capped is actually going to be a big deal. We're already at 253,000 damage, by the way. I don't know if you guys paid attention to that. But 253,000 damage without even blinking an eye, right? That's what happens if people start to give this thing a broadside. 1 minute, everything's fine. The next minute, everybody's like half health. Okay? This thing is disgusting. Do not sleep on Colombo. Alaska comes around the corner, over-angled. Got a beautiful look, only firing the rear turrets, but that's still 8 rounds. That's a Jean Bart stuck to your butt. And, honk. Hey.
Enemy cruiser sunk.
Do I need to say any more? Now, we do have a heal. We're going to go ahead and pop that right now. We aren't spotted because it was the Alaska that spotted us. Everybody else is either too far away or behind islands, so they can't spot us. The enemy team is starting to drop like flies. Mino is being pushed out of their spot because of the fact that they have people shooting at them from the front. And we are just sitting here like a shark in the water, just looking who we could devour, right? Schroeder comes out, over-angled. See a theme here? Not paying attention to the fact that there's still a Colombo here, but fortunately, or unfortunately, the Alaska takes him down. The Mino takes down our Saint Louis, so the Mino's still in a position where they could be a problem. And we still can't shoot them because they're behind that island. So it's at this point we really need to start thinking about moving, right? We've sat in basically the same, I don't know, what, 2-3 kilometer area for the entirety of the match. Now, we've been effective for the majority of the match, but I think it's time to utilize some of the speed of the Colombo and get out there and hunt some folks. There's only 3 people left, 2 battleships and 1 cruiser. The cruiser is an easy dev strike. but is currently absolutely working over our teammates. One of the battleships goes down. It was the Lepanto. But Kurfürst manages to take out the Palmer. So we still have the Kurfürst out there. We have the Mino. Mino finally comes out from behind its island. It's going toe-to-toe with an Alaska and... Oh, wait. Is that not I thought that was an Alaska. I have to look. But either way, Mino comes out from behind its island. It's fighting the cruiser. I didn't get to see what that cruiser was. I thought it was an Alaska. But clearly, if it was the Alaska, he clearly missed. Because he should just absolutely dev strike a Mino straight through the bow, but I don't think it is an Alaska. I think it's something that's got smaller guns. But Mino is charging in. That is totally an Alaska. How is that Mino still alive, Alaska? You should be ashamed. But it doesn't matter because we pick up another dev strike by taking out the Mino, as you'd expect. So now the only thing left, we have the cap advantage, we have the points lead. The only thing left now is to go out and kill the Gross Kurfürst. We have 298,000 damage done. We're going to head over and try to get into the Bravo cap, which isn't necessary because we do have the points lead, but you never know. If that Kurfürst ends up catching the cruiser or something, it could easily, or the battleship. Maybe the battleship is taking a beating at this point. So trying to get into a cap, trying to deny them points is not always necessary, but it gives you a little bit of a life insurance policy on whether or not you win or lose a game. So in this instance, I would probably just go into the cap. That way you go ahead and flip the cap. But there isn't a lot of time left either, so maybe that's going into the decision making. He's like, okay, well, if I get into the cap, basically that's the rest of the game. I don't necessarily put myself in a position to capture or to take out the Kurfürst if he does get spotted. Because if you're going into the cap, there's a lot of islands that are blocking potential shot profiles, I guess would be the word. Directions? There's a word. Either way, there's a lot of chances if you go into the cap here that your shells simply will not be able to clear the islands and you won't get a shot. So if that battleship then ends up killing your cruiser or your battleship, you lose the match. So the other side of things is you only have 30,000 hit points. Now, I know that's literally as much as the Sejong started with at the beginning, but the Sejong also got dev struck at the beginning. Colombo, not likely to be dev struck, but still 30,000 hit points isn't something you can just kind of go, yeah, it's fine, I can live with 30,000 hit points, because everything is fully capable of taking 30k off of you at any given moment if you screw up at Legendary tier. Everything. Doesn't matter what it is. Everything at Legendary tier has the potential to take 30,000 hit points off of you very quickly. So any mistake can be punished. But in this instance, it looks like the GK has decided that he needs to head back to the port of Brest and get repaired after getting his butt kicked early in this match. And he has left his team to just lose the game. Now here, I do appreciate the firing the gun here to try to get the, to bait the enemy to shoot at you, but it's a little too late, unfortunately. Oh, wait a second. Hold that phone. GK spotted. It worked. Shot out. Still plenty of time on the clock. We get triple fired because GK's still shooting HE. One shell is all we need. And got him for the Quarkin. Oh, I love it. And he picks up all of the other things because he survives all of the messes. So he ended up getting more medals than a Korean general, a North Korean general. That is. Look at the medals. We got the dev strike. We got 2 dev strikes. We got the High Cow. We got the Confederate. We got the First Blood. We got the Kraken Unleashed. We got the Dreadnought, and we have the Fireproof medal. But 4,796 base XP in a battleship is insane. Insane. So thank you so much, Collie, for sending this one in. If you guys want to send in your own community replays, put it down in the comments below. Or not down in the comments below. Sorry, I lied. Don't put it down in the comments below. Send it to me at my Gmail, sparkdelete43@gmail.com. And who knows? You might get to see me react to your video someday. So if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.